none of that matters now. We have our pistols out, and we're going to be starting map number 1, this time actual map number 1 of the first set. And we're going to see how split goes between energy and complexity.
Yeah, and speaking of split, it does appear to be a split rush at that, so, a little ironic here and there, but we see the attacking side of energy pretty well spread out, at least by the looks of it. It looks to be a complete mid-take, but Breach here could very well stun everyone and ruin the party. But no, the Breach is going to be counter-stunned. Zom's going to take some shots and take down Jonah right away. The first pick of the day for NRG.
Absolutely, indeed. It's going to be, though, that split take. Still going to be split up a little bit, though. We still have quadrants of NRG folk making their way onto B site, while others scatter onto A. It's going to be up to Crawler right now to see if they can find any enemies nearby, but that Omen is going to, not hide away. Unlucky for him, it's going to be the grenades that go down, but unfortunately do not connect. But that buys so much time for the other attackers on their way to B main. An absolute kill hallway if done right for either team, but it looks like the site's completely clear.
That is tricking the team to go to A, and coming back to B is the way to go. AGM very close on the plays. It's going to be a lot of engagements coming up out of heaven, though. XP3 finding 1, finding 2 for his team right now. He's going to be taken down and refragged by Som. Back to a 3v3, but eyes connect between Sharky and the Jet. EU is going to find a kill off as well, taking down AGM. Back to a 2v2, but health advantage in favor of complexity by a mile.
Yeah, if you're Daps right now, you need to stay alive. A single breath will take you down right now, and he's still going to try to play somewhat of the aggressive game, fighting on that spike for his life. He wants to get those final shots down before he may potentially fall, and I'm curious to see if... Oh, no! Oh, hi, Daps. Unfortunately, not in your favor. Sharky's going to find Daps, however, and now it's down to the final engagement. Not even going to half, though. It wouldn't have mattered if EIO had gone down. That would have been around for NRG anyways, but... getting that final kill is just the icing on the cake. And running away from the sphere, always good as well.
That is, even though he was holding Classic, you don't want to, necessarily lose your KD stats. So,
yeah.
I mean, it really could have gone out of the way. It wasn't the most important thing there, but if Classic can have that point, you can essentially sacrifice for yourself to make sure that spike does not go off, which is exactly what it seemed that EU was trying to get out of this. Now, it does seem like a force here from Complexity, and they need to make that happen. But if they're down bad on eco after this round, it's going to be essentially 3 rounds in a row for NRG.
Now, if you're just tuning in once the action starts, the economy's not going to be the same as the post-plan situation, but it doesn't matter now because the force seems to have worked out super well. XP3 and Ohai able to find their opening picks as well, and that's only going to be one member of Complexity gone in the process. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is able to get on an A site, planting away, but a retake with much more complex weaponry is going to be in order. Daps, however, going to make their way towards the back, a skeleton crew, if you will, trying to force their way around and make sure no kind of refrags could happen. Creed's able to find Sharky, and it's going to be an even man count.
Seed getting that kill was fairly important here, taking down that raise. There's not a whole lot for Duelist, just mainly site control and the smokes from the side of Complexity trying to bring it back. However, left on low health, the Breach is not going to get a stun off as Jonah goes for a swing. Jonah gets 2, taking down Exceed and EU, and just like that, it's left all up to Daps. Spike ticking away, but not in an ideal situation. Spectre in hand, so you're just going to want to go ahead and save that. Walking away is going to be the Omen.
Yeah, absolutely, and even then, oh no, the turret able to find Daps, not going to be within the 40 meters, mind you. That could have been a very different scenario had the patch gone through. But overall, you did try to save the Spectre. It almost worked out, but unfortunately, you're still going to have to spend that economy anyways.
Yeah, things are looking a little more even now. It does look like Complexity is on the side, and forcing was the right move for them at that point in time. Anyone who could save did save. 3 remaining members still holding on to those Spectres, not wanting to lower their economy too much, but it's a full save here from NRG. So Complexity, given the right events, can very well take this pretty, I would say pretty forcefully at this point in time. A couple shots here and there. NRG, if they land those shots, they can make things happen, just ruining the eco best they can.
I really do like the push that we see NRG bringing out, though. It's split up a little bit again, but the main quadrant's going to be in mid. That's what we want to focus on right now, as we see the Breach trying to push their way up forwards, but there's so much in the way. The spike is nowhere to be seen by anybody, but EIO is able to find XP3. That's going to be a great start for NRG as they make their way up in the heavens and try to get the angles down below onto B site. The spike, now in hand of NRG's side, are looking to see if they can find that final entryway, as two members of Complex are making sure they're not able to get onto those wooden boards. A might be the play, Casey.
It does seem to be that way, and with the audio cue of Cypher coming up, but Molly's going to go off. Finds 3 with the burst, and he can make 4 happen in a row. Back-to-back, ghost out, but does not find Daps. But now Daps, left in a 1v3 situation, has to pick up the Bulldog and confirm 3 kills and picking up the spike. 33 seconds left. He has to make it happen now or never.
30 seconds left.
It was a very good round for NRG so far, but suddenly now things are dire. No spike in hand, swarmed all over by the entities of Complex. We've seen Daps in this situation before, and it was only last round. Luckily, though, no Killjoy turrets in the way this time, and instead of saving, he's going to go and try to find one more before getting taken down. At 8 health now, he's not even able to find one. It's going to be AGM there with the coup de grace, the final kill to take down Daps, and Complexity give themselves a very solid lead.
I'll tell you what, as soon as that alarm bot went off, everyone was so much more vulnerable. As soon as 4 members of NRG came up the ropes, right where we see AGM standing at, he had the alarm bot there, he had the mollies there. So much damage was being dealt, everyone had to jump out of it, and it was just the perfect lineup for Ohai to make it happen, and that he did, going absolutely massive for his team, and was able to round out the round. Now, we do see a slightly different round here now, as everyone's basically going to be a full buy. It's going to be a rush from Kohler, though. Already up the top of the ramp, using both of his blast packs to get up there. A lot of traction gain very quickly.
A lot of traction indeed, and that's what they're going to need right now from both sides. The spike, of course, could be in mid again. Probably not the best situation, considering what happened last round, but traveling through towards B main may be the play. The thing about NRG, though, what we've been seeing for multiple rounds is that it's always a main group of 3 and a splinter cell of 2 different groups trying to find those opening picks as well. They haven't had much success so far, Kyle, so I would love to hear your take on it.
Well, it's really going to be situational, but no, Kohler is going to get caught off guard by XP3. Now, just a quick flick from him makes it happen. The execute coming on the beast. Ignore the strat now, as it's going to be 4 people pushing their way through garage. Breach ult coming out, the Killjoy Molly going to deny the default plant spot. It's going to stun people, but no, EU is not going to find the kill on Jonah. Still up to low health. This flick from Psalm will find 1, but 2 in return from Complexity is going to go ahead and finish it off. Daps, once again, for the 3rd round in a row, left in a clutch situation.
Yeah, we see a complete dismantlement of NRG almost every single round so far. Complexity is just able to hold those angles and just wait for the moment to strike. Ohai, not quite a 4K this time, but able to get their 5th between 2 different rounds, able to take down Daps, and there you go, a 2-round lead in the favor of Complexity. They have been able to just hold on tight to each site and wait for NRG to come to them, and that's where they plan to strike. And so far, Kyle, it's worked 2 rounds in a row, and I don't really think that's going to stop anytime soon unless we see any huge NRG changes.
That's exactly what it is, Keg. I mean, you read that pretty well. From what it seems, Kohler is a very aggressive player right now on the Raze, and you saw even that with the blast pack play, that he wants to go big and go fast. But unfortunately, that might not be the best for him. But Sam, matching the aggression as well. Sharky's going to be stunned, trying to get out of there, but Sam right behind him is going to go ahead and take him down with Guy's immediate refrag, though, is going to deny his ult any more use. The stun from Breach, trying to find a Killjoy, but it's not going to make it happen. No, EU going to take him down as AGM finds Kohler back to a 3v3, but still down Eco. But no, the other thing down is going to be the plant.
That's right, the plant is down, and things are looking positive for NRG this round. They haven't been able to get a plant down in quite a while. Jonah's able to find Creed, sure, but no, he's able to follow it up with a double. No, a triple kill. Beautiful work there, and that's going to be suddenly a dismantlement of NRG once again. At least, though, this time they have the extra economy of getting a plant down, which is cool, but it's not enough of a round win, and if this continues on, we're going to see that 4-1 turn into a much greater disparity.
You know, we saw it yesterday with Cloud9 when they were able to come back. The question is it going to be able to come back for NRG? Now, this is a completely different team and completely different, standards, different rankings, everything about them's different. So we can't necessarily compare it, but I'm saying we have seen it before, so you could expect it. Som on the op, really forcing his way, making his eco as low as possible in order to grab that. It could be the thing that they need here in order to take control of mid. Could be the one-shot wonder that they really desperately need.
Yeah, we've seen NRG so far go straight away to B, A, and mid, and nothing has really worked except for the pistol rounds. It's a slower round that we already see. We do see Seed so far away from the rest of his team trying to make something happen, but no one's gonna bite the bait. EU, though, however, and the rest of his team might be able to find some luck going towards mid, but even then, no one's around to be seen, and it's a little bit of a scary situation. Where's Complexity hiding? Where are they waiting for these angles? Of course, there's a boom bot that could be unleashed that could give some answers, but with the spike on its way inside mailroom, it could be an A-site take.
It really could go either way here, but no, the spike is going to be in vents now alongside both Breach and Omen, trying to possibly gain some traction here. The regular alarm bot placement not down from Killjoy. And right now it looks like NRG is kind of on the path of deciding where do we want to go. Two people watching him in tower though. Oh, it's going to be red through and through. Kohler finding the opening kill now to Jonah. It's going to be Sharky left all on his own. The ultimate coming out. The fire, and Kohler will find two now on the round as NRG take B-side by force. Turret down, Killjoy's location known as AGM's going to be sitting in dirt, grenade coming out, but B-side is for grabs.
That's right, definitely not going to be the A-side take like we had predicted. Ohai is able to find one, sure, but will they be able to take over the site? So far, the answer is yes. Only two left alive in the favor of Complexity. Ohai is able to make that a triple kill, but with the evens out of the odds between the two different teams, it's going to force the rest of NRG back onto the site. The spike is down, the lockdown has been destroyed, and AGM's able to find one. Not that, just one, but Seed's able to refrag it immediately. The defuse almost down, and NRG finally able to bring it back. 4-1's not is a lot worse than 4-2, and having extra point on the board in the favor of NRG has a lot of hope there, especially for the B-side take. It was a super close call, Kyle, but they got it done.
Winning out the first round for NRG, since the first round is going to be Exceed, the man who officially joined yesterday to NRG, was able to go ahead and win them their second round this match. So definitely showing up, definitely showing the numbers that he needs to right now. But can NRG keep this up? Can they keep this ball rolling, or is it going to be another potential fumble for them?
So far, we've seen Complexity win, 4 rounds in a row compared to NRG. A giant sandwich of wins for NRG right now, and it looks like it might be continuing on for another one. Sam is able to find Jonah, sure, but the rest of the kill feed is going to be green with the blood and enemies of NRG. Oh my god, where is the energy here? It's going to be a really good defense coming out from the sides of Complexity, but if EU is able to find one, he may be able to follow it up with another. Not him, though. Kohler is. And with only one left alive now, it's going to be a do-or-die situation for Kohler as they have to make their way across multiple angles, being covered at once, riddled with bullets. It's going to be another round for Complexity.
Now, you have that Jet ult out, and she dashes by you. You're stuck in a pinch situation. You have to go for one. Jet's probably going to be your best bet there. She gets you with those knives. It's match over for you. There's no chance of flicking. You're dead through and through. So Kohler really did try his best there, but unfortunately, just not being able to pull it out in the long run. You have to make your decisions. You have to 50-50 it. You need to figure out what you're going to do when you're going to do it. And that's exactly what he had to do. Now, speaking about doing it, NRG, it does look like it's going to be an aggressive mid take as the breach immediately comes out, and it's going to be 4 members already walking straight up mid, trying to take control of tower. Som dashes away in, but does not check onto the rafters. Sharky will take him out. 2 more members on the rafters, though. It's going to be both Sharky and the breach of Jonah sitting up there. Sharky with second kill now. XP3 on the vent, finds 1, finds 2. Can he connect with a 3rd? Yes, he can. And just like that, NRG gets eliminated flawlessly.
A beautiful, flawless round coming out against NRG again. We've seen some flawless rounds on these streams before, sure, but that one was just an absolute slaughterfest. And Ohai has been able to do a lot of the action here, but no other team members able to pick up the slack as well and get some crazy action. But so far, we've seen most of the kill feeds, or at least most of the crazy clutches, coming out from the defense's side, and Split, probably not the most competitively balanced map in terms of attackers and defenders. We might need to see a second half side for NRG to pick it up.
We may very well have to see that. You know, it could really turn either way on this map. For yesterday, we go 11-3 on this map. So the defensive half was definitely a lot stronger, but we can't get a fair justice of their attacking side. They only played 4 rounds there. We've already exceeded that by double. So there's going to be a rotate here. However, running back from the stats more so to the gameplay. Rotate from B to A, faking it. Getting a lot of people over towards the B site. That's going to be 5 pushing their way towards B. Killjoy and Omen on the rotate with the fake TP from Omen's ultimate. But no one's directly on A site. So the execute can happen. It can go down very quickly.
The execute's going to be interrupted, however. There's going to be a Killjoy turret in the way. AGM's able to use that information to take down Som, and that's not going to stop the rest of NRG. They need to be able to get onto the site, and that's exactly what they do. Visible deniability completely everywhere. Dab's able to secure yet another kill, and it's going to be the plant going down. The post-plant situation's always been very interesting between these two different teams. Complexity usually able to collapse upon the team in these situations. Ohai's able to find EU, sure, but so far it's still NRG with all the rounds.
Time is ticking away now for Complexity to bring this back, but that's going to be the ult now coming out from the breach to stun anyone on site. Exceed is going to be blinded, but Kohler finding one to AGN as Jonah immediately flicks onto the man that he had just blinded. TP coming out from Omen in his way to screens. Ohai is going to be pinched here. He's going to find Kohler. Daps immediately the refrag, though, is down to a 1v1 between Jonah and Daps. He has to make it happen right now. Daps has to swing. He needs to find it. Yes, he does. And 3 on the round will be Daps bringing it back. And the 3rd round win now for NRG.
NRG putting their name back on the board again. When it comes to the split, I would say, and feel free to disagree with me, Casey, I would say you want to go for maybe 4 rounds on the attack. It's definitely more defender favored, depending on the sites, and especially on the positions, but I would say you want to really aim for 4 on the attack.
If you're not taking the heaven or tower of either side on A or B, it's definitely a lot more difficult because you have one very small, thin funnel to get into both, and especially on B, which, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is going to be a lot harder to attack just because of the low funnel. The op shot from Ohai, though, taking down EU in one swift motion. Ohai is already back in tower and denying mid as long as he possibly can. A nice initial pick for Complexity here.
We see a huge stall out right now inside of mid. The Spike is still trying to move its way forward. Sure, there's no one there to stop the Jet from pushing on forwards to vents either, but that's not going to stop the Spike. We see NRG in a complete disarray. Complexity able to hold on tight, watch the angles, and more importantly, watch each other's backs. But inside the ropes, we do see some action potentially able to go down with this Omen hiding down very sneakily underneath. I'm worried about Som right now, Casey. I'm not sure if going to the ropes is the best idea, or maybe continuing on to B could be the play.
Very well could be, but both Killjoy and Raze are left on B. You know, you're left down a man. You have to stick with your team. I mean, if she solo pushes, it's going to be near suicide, but both Killjoy Mollies coming out now onto B heaven, right by that staircase and mailroom, means that a lot of Killjoy's utility is now going to be expended. Alarm bot not on the map, and Killjoy turret down in a pretty viable location. The counter smoke, though, coming out from the Omen. Sharky's ult comes out, fired, and right onto Daps.
Oh man, the final seconds coming out of the round now. Sharky able to find one, sure, but the rest of the site is covered with all sorts of different bodies, regardless of size. It's going to be in the favor of Complexity. Final shots going down, and Kohler not able to make it work. Surrounded by the enemies once again. 7-3 now with a final shot from the back from Ohai. If that doesn't describe how the game's gone so far, I don't know what does. But Ohai with a 4.0 KD on their first set of the day so far is a super strong start for Complexity.
You know, that's exactly what Ohai is going to need to keep up throughout this entire tournament if he wants to make sure his team wins it and takes it all, especially the likes of Complexity. You know, they have a very strong, support staff behind them. They have a wonderful group of players. They just need to finish out and close rounds. Like, Ohai could very well take off the head of the opposing Cypher here. Oh, man. Here's him on the left side, but is still going to be holding for the cross. Ghost out, though. No, Ohai taking down Exceed. Body shot through and through will be the next opening kill for Complexity. Ohai getting multiple of those now.
Ohai turned that operator into a Winchester rifle right out close, and bam! just blowing away that Cypher. That's exactly what you want to see when you're an operator on Jet. Tom is able to get it back a little bit too with the knives. However, it's going to be more a favor in the rounds of NRG, I would say. Able to get a little bit of sights onto A site. It's going to be down to Ohai, holding down the grounds almost exclusively. And if they're able to just maneuver this by themselves, and they are, they're able to hold it down almost exclusively by themselves. It's going to force the rotate around on the B site, but this is a 400 IQ move. Knowing that, no, everyone's going to be rotating to A, the entirety of the attackers are going to rotate the B site and get the plant down. And only one, plus a turret, have seemed to pick up on it.
That's exactly what it is. Now, beautifully read from NRG to go for that rotate. Complexity able to hold it down, but NRG was able to take B completely free. There was enough time, and now it's all about complexity for the retake. It's going to be Sharky finding one in Garage, taking not the head off him, but Jonah taking the head off of the Raze, immediately refragged by EU. Terrible timing for Jonah there as he takes out the stun. Now, Garage stunned off. It's going to be left to basically a 2v2 situation. I mean, Ryder's smoked off at that. Daps is in sight, though, with only a Ghost in hand. He needs to pick up a weapon if he wants to make easy work of this.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be the best situation for the Ghost right now, but maybe call him Danny Phantom, able to get it. That's going to be one going Ghost, going down. Ohai dead. Sharky, though, with a Vandal in hand. No, it's not going to be the same situation. The Ghost reigns supreme. A double kill. And the most clutch of situations, able to get a thrifty round. And that's going to put one more round on the board for NRG. Now, this could be 8-4. Or maybe even a 7-5 split going into the second half. Both of those, I would say, are not a bad position at all for NRG.
You know, if I'm NRG, there's one thing that I want here. I want to close out this last round. I want to get the gap as small as possible. Of course, that's what you want in, any esport when you're down bad, or any game for that matter. But with the likes of Complexity, with how much eco they have, they can buy another op. That's exactly what Ohai does. He's going to be smoked. He's going to be blinded. Jet's already in sight, though. Saw him, finds two, and the breach ult is already going down. EU just lighting up the site. In a matter of seconds, A site's theirs. EU with another kill now. That's Sharky with the immediate refrag, though. It's a 2v4 retake situation for Jonah, and the likes of NRG are everywhere.
Kyle, where was this NRG at the beginning of the game? They warmed themselves up. Jonah's able to find one, but Sam, the other Jet on the other side, is able to put in work. Sharky, though, needs to find a little bit of action going on. We've seen both raises on both teams at the very clutch ends of rounds. Unfortunately, typically they both fall a little flat. But a 7-5 split for the attack is something really good to see. NRG struggled a lot in the beginning, but towards the second half of the first half, I guess that would be a quarter, they really picked it up and they found out their strategy.
That's exactly what they did. We talked about the idea of adapting to another team, and that seems to be what NRG is doing now. As in the final 4 rounds, they won 3 of those, and that's 3 of their 5 total round wins. So it looks like NRG is finally realizing what Complexity has in store and what they have to do to make it happen. Unfortunately, they realized that a little bit late, so they are down a little bad on the half. But 7-5, and now you're on defense. You've only had 5 rounds. I wouldn't necessarily hate that. It's not the most impossible thing to come back from either. But I think the key thing we're going to see here is this pistol round. This pistol round is going to make or break how the next couple rounds are going to go for both sides. Now, we did see some, little changes. NRG won the pistol round with 4, and Complexity proceeded to win the next 4. It could go either way, but like I said, you don't have to leave it up to stats. You only have to leave it up to history. Everything's situational. This is Valorant.
That's true, and you can't say the pistol rounds could be a judgment of whether or not this could go down, because we saw NRG win the first pistol rounds. Complexity then steamrolled them for the next 4 or 5 in a row. EO, though, is able to find Jonah, breach versus breach. Only the superior one's gonna go, is gonna take them down. With that being said, though, it's gonna be an 8 execute. We do see Complexity doing the best that they can, it seems, to make their way back onto around A, in fact. The spike's going to go down, but they're dispersing themselves to make sure that the post plan, it will not work. But Polar has a different option in mind. It's just going to be a complete steamroll on the kill feed, with members of NRG able to just get all the different shots down and a defuse. 2 pistol rounds in the favor of NRG, but let's see if history's going to repeat itself.
Keg, I'm not going to lie here. I looked away for a second. What happened? It was a 5v5, and I looked back 10 seconds later, and everyone was gone.
You know, that's a very good question, Kyle. Pretty much what happened was we had seen the plant go down, and Complexity, what they wanted to do was rotate around the back part of A through screens and just try to catch out the rotates through the back as much as they can. That would have left heaven completely open for the defenders, sure. But we didn't see the defenders go there. Instead, no, we saw a single lone warrior named Kohler able to get 1, 2, skipping my shoe, pop him off so quickly. And that is why we see that 7-6 scoreline.
Yeah, like I said, this could go either way here, but that's definitely not what I was expecting to happen. Kohler making it happen for his team. Now, we want to talk about forcing. We have full Spectres. Yeah, we have a lot of SMGs here, Spectres and Singers on the sides of Complexity. I know Kohler had a Vandal in hand, meaning he could hold those long angles, but he has no utility really at his disposal. If it comes down to it, it's all about gun skill, all about gunplay. But that's exactly what happens. He finds one, EU finding another as well, though, with the Phantom in hand, taking down 2 members of Complexity right off the rip. It's gonna be another kill for EU, though, as he finishes off the opposing XP3, but immediately re-ragged by Jonah. Down to a 2v4 now. It's going to be purely left up to the Breach. Jonah sitting inside of tower. Now, of course, there is a Killjoy behind them, but it's going to be a uphill battle indeed.
Quite literally uphill, it seems. Right now, Killjoy able to hold back a little bit more. We do see the Breach drop, but it's going to be the rest of NRG taking a playbook out of Complexity, making sure they hide away. Kohler, though, is on an absolute steamroll on the defense, able to get, I believe, a 3K in the previous round, and now another 3K to boot. 6 for 2 rounds is pretty good, and right now Complexity has a one-way ticket on the struggle bus, and hopefully their stop ends a little bit sooner because it's a 7-7 scoreline, and if you look down below, that's certainly what it wasn't in the beginning of this matchup.
It seemed to be a complete stomp by Complexity for the first little bit, up 6-2 at 1.7-3, but now, just like that, Energy is able to bring it back. You can never count someone out, especially in any sort of tournament format. Nonetheless, in a qualifier for the biggest event in Valorant, Sharky going to take some shots through the smoke, but is going to be traded right back in terms of damage, down to 66. It's going to be a full save from Complexity, while it looks like Energy has fully bought.
It's an interesting pattern that we're seeing right now. We do see EO again holding the top of heaven, a triple kill, make that 4. Oh, not quite 4, but the team got 4. Kohler's able to steal that 4th one away from EO, and that is exactly what you want to see. Still, that great cooperative teamwork there. That's going to leave the Killjoy AGM the last one alive. Now, they do have options, sure, but with the spike nowhere near to be seen and 2 different bodies now directly in front of them, Kyle, I think this is already a done deal round. We're going to see NRG take that 8th point.
You very well can. It's 5v1 with a Sheriff in hand. It's going to be AGM trying to find it. No, Sam is just going to go ahead and finish him right off, picking up that Singularity Sheriff. I really like those Singularity skins. They're really unique, and I feel like we see a lot of them in the competitive scene as of recently.
It always throws me off a little bit, but in a good way. Like, it's just so visually pleasing. Sam's Operator is my favorite skin in the whole game. I just love the gradient on it and just how the Pantones work with each other. It's not something you ever really see in any kind of tactical FPS game, and usually it would just be really clashing, but it works so well here.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. But, enough about, what's happening here. Enough about what's happening here or there. Oh my God, Sam! We don't have to talk about skins when Sam is landing shots like that. An initial pick for his team is going to be absolutely massive. Through the smoke, barely seeing the Jet, and the Killjoy turret not able to see him. Flash is coming out. It's going to be multiple walking through the Cybercade on the side of Complexity. But EU finding a kill now. 1's left in hell. 2 in hell, rather. Exceed EU, all finding multiple, but Sam finishing it off as blood spills on both sides. 5 kills on the board at one time. Nonetheless, though, NRG does win those.
You say blood spilled. I would go further and say it was a torrent of it all over A site. It was one of those things where you just blink and you miss the whole entire round. Just an absolute amount of bloodshed going on every which way, and I'm not complaining.
I'm not going to be complaining either. That was absolutely massive for the side of NRG. It's when it comes down to those, tight fit moments of, when everything comes together. We have a bunch of people all battling out multiple gunfights. That communication is absolutely insane. And NRG, despite being very possibly overwhelmed on the site, was able to just clear out members one by one very systematically. Everything we see from solid teams. Now the breach ult coming out. It's going to be EU finding one, but the immediately dashed away Jet's going to try to get away. No, Kohler finding two now as Ohai peeks his head back out to take down EU. The Sheriff in hand of Sharky, but he's going to be pinched into a bad situation.
Oh, no.
Going to try to bounce away, but Kohler will find it. Jonah on the stairs of mailroom here. Position maybe no, the flash coming out, tries to take down one, but misses his shot, picks up the Phantom, switches to it, but no, exceeds, finishing it off for NRG's, what's that going to be, 7th round in a row?
Something like that. You know, I wrote it all down, but numbers are not my forte. But so far, a 3-round lead for NRG is a far cry from how the beginning of this game had been. We had seen NRG get that first round, sure, but then it was Complexity winning 4 in a row, and only from there did we see a little bit of trickling of rounds come through with NRG's side, but it was still a dominant first half for Complexity. Now, on the second half, Complexity has to be on the attack, the disadvantageous side for Split, and you can definitely see that they're struggling a little bit right now. They're trying every strategy they can possibly think of. The spike barely in hand now is just a far cry away from any sort of sight, any sort of direction at that too. But the aggressive plays coming out from the Rays is going to be a little bit of an engagement for EU, I believe. One of them will be able to find and lock eyes on each other. Only one though, but well, came ready. Oh, and there we go, a double kill. Beautiful work. It's going to be AGM and Sharky falling down. The aggressive plays are going to work with the stoic presence of the breach. And with that being said, Complexity are already down 2 people. 3 people at that. 4! I can't stop. It's too much. Ohai is the last one alive yet again. Operator in hand, Casey. They do have the ult, but with only 50 seconds left, Spike nowhere to be seen, far behind the enemy lines. It's going to be a round for NRG again, unless Ohai can pull out the magic that they were able to on the defense.
Not saying it's possible, but it's very unlikely. He has the op here. He's going to be Breach Sun now, deep into sewer. He's going to have to walk his way back. He can variable peek from multiple angles here. The flash looks like it could come out here from EU. Hearing the Jet is going to go ahead and look up. With 25 seconds left, everyone's way too spread out. He can very easily be pinched. Goes for a shot in Complexity. No, 6 health. He's going to have to get out of the way. EU going for the shot through the wall, but finding it with the Vandal, rather. Shock is not going to happen.
EU has been an absolute playmaker this game so far. 24 kills, and the next person down, Kohler, 15. Just absolutely able to hold down their presence so well. We had seen EU. He could have easily played aggressive and maybe tried to overextend and peek AGM, but he didn't. He played it stoically, and he got rewarded for it. He got the double kill there. Now, is he able to make that work again?
You have a good breach player, you have an amazing player. You need to make it happen. But Sam finding the first initial shot. Sam and EU being the majority of the opening kills so far on NRG's defensive side. The Killjoy going down inside of Garage, though. Her ultimate, her lockdown, is going to basically clear off the majority of B site and those around it. But waiting for the last minute, Dap's going to caught off guard by Ohai's ultimate. Reaching in the site now is going to be Ohai as he dashes and updrafts right in. Spike is down, does some damage, but is not going to completely finish it off. 4v4, Jonah's on the bottom. The ultimate coming out from Jonah now is going to catch Kohler off guard as he's not able to make the escape, getting gunned down by Jonah.
Early lockdown seems to have worked well for Complexity, able to get the spike down, but they have the entire site under their control. If NRG wins this next round, it'll be match point for the first map, of potentially 3 between the two, but as Jonah takes down Seed, it's looking more and more like we see 8 rounds in the board for them. But there's still 2 more left on NRG's side. We've seen EU be a clutch maker before, but this might be a little too much for him. Sam's already walking away. He's done. He said, this round's over. We're going to think about what we have to do and make sure this next round's in our hands. And with that being said, though, we're going to see a much tighter scoreline than we have previously in the match so far, only being a few rounds of a difference, that now being 3.
The issue here, though, isn't the fact that NRG has lost a round. It's the fact that Complexity can get the ball rolling again, since currently NRG is not a match point. A lot of things are even here. You know, eco, gun, the guns available to them are all kind of even on the board, except for Som, who's just becoming an absolute monster with the operator. Now, there's a lot to say, a lot to unpack here. You know, Complexity, if they can keep this ball rolling and keep this momentum on the updraft, then they're going to be perfectly clear. Now, we see Sharky taking a page out of Kohler's book from what he recently saw.
Ooh.
The ultimate now coming out though from Sharky could very well expel someone off there. He sees the jet, but not close enough. ATM finding a kill. Som taking down Jonah as Sharky and Som cross paths from each other. Kill straight out on both sides. Now bring it back to a 3v3, but Som is still on deck with Jet's ultimate. One's on sight and elbow. He has to make his way through without exposing himself to the Killjoy turret. The smoke down from the opposing Jet though is just going to make it that much easier.
A 3v3 in the post-plant situation, now things get a little bit more tense. We saw Complexity win the last round on B side, getting that spike down and holding down on the fort. Things are pretty much the same this time, except it's a completely different bomb site. A much more open one, a lot more availability, potentially, for NRG to make their way through, but they're all shoved in a tiny little corner of screens. They're gonna try to make their way through, especially Som going for the aggressive plays. Peekaboo, I see you, and it's gonna be Killjoy gone. But it's not long living, it seems. Ohai able to hold down the fort a little bit. He finds one, but there's still another in the way. He's not able to find them right away, but through the walls potentially, and there we go. We had seen Complexity win yet another round. Beautiful work overall. That is exactly what you want to see. And suddenly that very small scoreline we talked about at the beginning of the last round, Casey, has come a little bit more closer.
As the score gets closer and closer, I can only imagine the tensions rise more and more for NRG on map 1 here. Now, of course, this is a best of 3, so it could go either way, but you're definitely not going to want to lose the first map of the day. That's just, it's not going to help you mentally at all, you know, losing this right away. But EU, his ultimate out, a very strong ultimate reaches, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal depending on how they utilize it. If it's a mid push and you can get 2 people to peek and take out 3 to 4 people from Complexity, then it's going to be much easier for you. But with only 2 in mid right now, one of those 2 leaving actively and everyone else so spread out, you can't risk to waste this. You need to gain the intel, and that's exactly why they have a Cypher to do just that.
And the Cypher does not have his tripwires deactivate on death right now. So always fun to see. But right now the sight denial is going to be far and extreme everywhere. Ohai and the rest of his team able to clobber everybody in this middle area. But with only 1 left alive, we've seen this story yet again. If Complexity is able to win this round, there's only 1 point of a difference between them. We could see a tie yet again, but with only an operator in hand and a Vandal to their left, it's going to be a tough situation with not able to see where any of these bodies are at, let alone a diffuser. It's going to be Som able to find one, sure, but there's still 3 other bodies guarding this spike with their lives, quite literally. But Som realizes this may not be a winning battle. Going in, looking to see potentially any refrags or exit frags. It's going to be another round in the favor of Complexity, and suddenly, what was a very, very marginalized game on both sides now goes into a death, it seems. I really thought Som could get away with it.
Yeah, I was hoping he could as well, but, you know, you just can't save it there. Now, this may be forcing the likes of NRG to kind of lower down the eco a little bit, but no, rather going for a one last final hoorah as they force every bit of eco that they can out. Now, if they lose this round, it's going to be almost a guaranteed match point for Complexity. And the reason for that is because everyone's going to be down pretty bad on eco. There's not going to be a whole lot of, you know, Vandals or Phantoms on board. It's all going to be the short-range SMGs or Sheriffs, which, while not the best in the world, definitely should not be knocked. We have seen plenty of people come back from the brink with just a Sheriff in hand, sometimes even just a classic. But Jonah being flashed by the other Breach's ult. Daps finds one down Sharky. The Ultor is grabbed, but no, they're not aware. Kohler does not know that Jonah is in garage. He just gets a free, easy kill, and like that, Kohler is gone from the round.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Or I would say, if the round had ended yet, but no, it could still go either way, Kyle. We're seeing the spike rotate its way through sewers at the moment. I'm highlighting sewers because there could always be potential of them dashing through and going back to B. But every step this Jet takes with the spike in hand, it's going to be more likely that we're going to see full execute onto A.
It very well could be that, but, you know, 43 seconds left right now. It could go either way, but it does not appear to be like so. Complexity, all 4 members trialing their way onto the likes of A site, the actual site, and one pushing their way towards heaven now. Up ramps is going to be the Omen. Som going for the off shot is going to dash back now. As just like that, the Cypher gets aggressive too. I believe that's going to be the Cypher of Exceed. Ohio on site, the two Jets counter-opping each other rather than counter-smoking. But no, XP3 right behind can find some shots. Can he confirm any of the kills though? Oh no, Breach is going to deny his position as Exceed takes him out. Blood spreading on both sides now. It's back to a 2v2 situation. Make that a 2v1 as Jonah finds two now. It's once again the Jet op of Som left all up on his Losum. He's going to want to save that, as if he does not make it to next round, he's going to lose an op for good, and no one can buy him an op.
Well, let's just hope Som can get away with it this time. Last time he tried to get away, but got gunned down by that very same Killjoy. But nope, this time he should be in, quite literally on the minimap, the safest location possible. But
yeah,
it's going to be 11-11. Casey, it's 11-11. This is just a roller coaster.
I mean, there's a lot to really look at here. Like you said, it's a roller coaster. There's a lot of dips, a lot of high points. But the question is Complexity going to be able to finally link more than 4 rounds together at once? Now, just from what we've seen here, we see Complexity take 4 rounds, 2, a 1, and they just are off the board.
Let's go.
For the entirety of 8 rounds.
We talked about Cloud9 yesterday in their history of threes, but I hope we're not starting some sort of I don't know, dynasty of having 4s be the cursed number of Complexity here. The Spikes could be down in sewers yet again, and we see this very spread out maneuver where Complexity's attack has been working quite a while now, and so far NRG haven't really been able to adapt around it.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be that way. They were doing very well adapting at first, but now, speaking of adapting, Som takes down AGM, but a shot through the wall takes down Exceed in return, as Som just bursts her way into the air. Jet, rather, is able to go ahead and finds its way out of harm's way. Som himself is not in the worst of situations, but rather kind of lonely up there in heaven. It's going to be op on op.
Only 1 minute left now. This round went by very quickly. We've already seen some action go down. Both support characters on each side are gone. The Cypher and Killjoy, I mean. But going for the execute onto A. This could be a make or break situation. Whether or not we'll see overtime for one team or another, this is one of the most important rounds in the entire matchup. But we see the full execute going through. They're tactically retreating, it seems. Ohai able to get the knives down, going for the Hail Mary onto B site, and the mad dash for B begins. Polar's trying to make their way through. Som's able to find one, sure, but the rest of the team needs to get on the B before the attackers are able to go on to it. But with only 13 seconds left, that Spike's able to go down. It's a 3v3 still. The high ground in the favor of NRG, sure, but the actual Spike is in the favor of Complexity. But Kyle, it doesn't end there. This could be anybody's game. We see the even man counts going on. In terms of how the teams are structured, it's almost the same. XP3 is able to find Som, sure, but he's not able to find the second. Never mind, he does. And that's be Sharky with a third. Only one left alive now. It's going to be EO trying to hold it up, but oh hi, he says to Ayu as he blasts his skull. That's going to be 12 on the board for Complexity. A emotional roller coaster of a match so far. And Kyle, this is the first map of the stream today.
There's just so much to unpack and unwind from here. We're on round 24. We're getting close to what very well could be a Complexity win, at least for this first map. Like you said, match point. However, we do have to note that NRG is only 1 round away from that same 12-round count as well. And since there is infinite overtime, since it is win by 2, it's going to be perfectly in the clear for these teams to go as far as they possibly can. It does look fairly even on both sides, as it was 7-5 for Complexity on their attacking side, and right now for NRG they're down 5-6. So if it comes down to it and Complexity is able to pull this out, it's going to be very, very vital for them to make sure they continue this on to the next map. But the entire XU is in sight. No one's on B. The closest one's still in dirt and CT, as the remainder funnel in through tower, and one possibly pushing garage. The Spike is down now. This is absolutely crucial. This is the set timer for what could be the end. It's going to be Ohai finding one and Succeed. and Daps each find one for each other. Jonah with the op takes down the likelihood of the other breach. EU. Stay up in the corner is AGM getting caught off guard by Exceed. The Cypher uploading, though, is going to be aware of everyone's locations for Complexity. Down to 2v2. The Ghost, though, from Jonah takes him down. Jonah finding a third with the Ghost. Daps, just like that, is going to fall in Complexity. It's going to win map number 1 of the Complexity versus NRG.